Hi and welcome to this DCP web tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a time-lapse video and mute some audio and also add some music using Magix Movie Edit Pro. So the reason I'm making this tutorial, if I open up my web browser and if I go to this particular tutorial I've made before, this person here on the comments asked the question, if I want to mute my voice in the video but keep the music, what do I do? And how do I do speed mode? So I told him that I will make him a tutorial. He thanked me for it, so now let's make that tutorial for him. Now what is his channel about? We should really check that out. So let's just middle mouse click. We can see his channel here and it looks like it's to do with food. It's based in the USA and it looks like it's Ukrainian. If you roll your mouse over here in using Chrome, it will translate it, and I believe this is Ukrainian and it means snacks. So it means snacks USA. Looks like he's got some good things in here. So if you're interested in making some nice looks like Polish or Ukrainian food, then maybe this is the guy to go to. And he's got quite a few subscribers, so if you're interested in that, go over there and hit that subscribe button. Let's get him some more subscribers as well. But let's make this time-lapse video and show him, because he must want to try and shorten down these videos and create some nice little time-lapse clips. So let's help him out. Okay, so to do this, let's minimize this, and inside this folder I've got this these files. Recently I made a Blender tutorial on how to create planet Earth, so it looked like this. We did this in Blender, right? If you remember, if you've been watching my videos, we made this little spinning planet tutorial using Blender, right? And I've also got all of the tutorial files here. So each one of these videos is the full length of the actual tutorial, and this whole tutorial is around 20 minutes long. So we're going to use time lapse to crunch it down, probably about 25% of that full duration. And I've got some other files in here because I just want to show you, just some basic stuff in Magix anyway. So let's go ahead and open up Magix Movie Edit Pro. I've got a blank file here, so let's just go to File, New, and I'm going to set it to NTSC 1080p 16:9 1920 by 1080 at 29 frames a second. I'll click Create here, and if I go to Import, I've got the same folder open, or in this browser I've got the same directory open that's in on my desktop, right? The same folder. So the first thing I'll normally do is drag my intro. This is my intro. If I drag and drop it on the timeline, if I click play, you'll see it's quite slow and it's got audio. So there's two things I want to do. Number one, I want to get rid of the audio. So to do that, let me just zoom in here a little bit, just to make it a bit easier for you to see. So let me zoom in. So when I roll my mouse over, this particular video clip, there's a little icon at the top and there's one at the bottom. The one at the top will reduce the brightness of this image. So if I set it to around here and then click here, you can see it's quite dark. If I click here and drag upwards, you can see it's quite bright. We don't want to do anything with the brightness, but that's what it is. That's really used more for like fading in and out between clips. But down here is the audio. So I want to drag it all the way down to the bottom. And if I click play now, we won't hear any audio. But it's very slow, this clip. It was built in Blender. I did this years and years ago. I need to do a new intro really, but I quite like this one, so I've left it. But it's quite slow. It's roughly 7.29 seconds long. It is exactly 7.29 seconds, this intro. And we want to make that much faster. So let's go back to the beginning of the timeline. Click on it. Go to the effects. Inside effects, you've got all of these different effects like moving and distortion and all these good stuff. I'm going to click on speed and I want to make it 4 times as fast. I'm going to drag this handle all the way to the top. Now it's 1.29 seconds duration. So if I click play, you're going to see it's going to move very, very fast. That's what I want. Let's save this. Let's just save this work as we go along. It would be wise to do that, right? Let's just save it in here for now. So let's go back to the import, and inside the import, really I would want to create a title here. So let's just show you some stuff in Magix anyway. So let's go over to templates. Let's go to movement basic, and there's this one here. You can click on it and see what it looks like. And we want this one that sort of fades in and fades out like this. So we'll just drag and drop that onto the timeline, and it's already got the fade set out for you. So we just drag it and snap it to this one here, to the edge here. Let's just zoom out a little bit here. Let's zoom to hit. And I'm going to double click inside here, and we'll just write in here something like time lapse example planet Earth, right? And this doesn't have any audio, so there's nothing to mute. It's just a title, right? And if you watch all my YouTube videos, you'll see my intro first normally, then you'll see a title, and then the video begins. So next part is the video, and normally what I'll do is show a little quick demo. So what we can do is go into let's see, go into files, and inside files I've got all the video clips for this tutorial. So the first one I'm going to drag in is this one. This is actually the Blender file that I rendered out. So this is actually the video clip itself, and I want to make this 4 times faster. So let's snap it to the end here. In fact, what we'll do, let's just let me just zoom in here a little bit like this. So let's see. Normally, what I'll do is drag this and overlap it over the this text, because when I click here and drag and play it, it's going to like fade out and transition between them. That's what I want, this transition. I'm going to click on this video clip, go to the effects, go to speed, and set that to 4. This was rendered out in Blender, so it doesn't have any audio, so there's nothing to mute. So if we click play now, you'll see it will play really fast rather than the Earth spinning really slow. Let's click here and we'll go back to the import, and I'll click on video clip 2. I'm going to skip one because normally part 1 of my tutorial, especially when they're long like this, 20 minutes long, the first part is just me explaining what I'm going to do. So we don't need to do that because it's got audio in there, but it's really just a still image with me kind of speaking. So I'm going to go straight to part 2 and drag that into the timeline. And when we go to part 2, we'll see the desktop background here. That's my desktop here with the recycling bin and the folder. And we'll drag across here. And at some point, I'm going to open up my browser here, right? Like around sort of here. This is where the browser gets open. So just before that, let's say around here, I'm going to click here, cut it. So I'm going to delete this and I'm going to drag it here. And if I click here and play, you're going to hear me speaking, right? Let's just make that a bit louder. Let's just set it to there. So that's me speaking in the video clip, and we want to mute this video clip. So just click on this bottom option here and drag it all the way down to the bottom. Now you won't hear me speaking. I'm going to click on this video clip, go to the effects and set it to 4 on the speed as well. That's going to make this video clip move 4 times its normal speed. And we just want to transition this as well. So let's just drag it and overlap it over this planet here. And then if we click play, let's click play. They will fade in that like this. You can probably transition that a bit more somewhere around here. Let's try that there, like that. Okay, so then I'm going into the actual tutorial, but you won't hear me speaking now because we're going to put some music in afterwards. So let's just zoom out and quickly finish this. Let's go back to import. I'm going to drag number 3 in here. This is how I'll normally do a time-lapse video. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So I'll click here, select here, drag down to mute it, click on the video clip, go to the effects, go to speed, and then set it to 4, then go back to import, drag number 4 in here, and then click on that one, set the audio down to 0 so you won't hear me speaking. Click here, go to effects, set it to 4, then we'll go back to import, drag 5. Let's just move along the timeline here, click here, mute it, nice and easy. Click here, effects, set it to 4, and then click yeah, that's the speed is done. Then go back here, let's go to number 6, that's the last part. Click this, go to effects, you can drag the speed across here and then mute it afterwards. It doesn't matter which way around you do it. So that's it. This video is pretty much done, but I'm going to give you a few more tips because I want to share some more knowledge rather than just making a time-lapse video. So the next thing we want to do is actually add some audio. My advice is when this guy wrote the message in here, it says if I want to mute my voice in the video but keep the music, you can't do that, because if your video clip contains your voice and the music as well, the voice and the music are on the same audio track. So I believe it's impossible to split out your voice and the music track into 2 separate things and mute one and keep the other. You can't do that. It's not possible. So really what you need to do is download a different music track, which should be fine, right? So all we do is go to YouTube, let's see, YouTube free audio. So just type into Google YouTube free audio, click here, and you can download any of these music tracks. Click on the genre, you can choose the genre, you can choose the mood, you can do like calm stuff, you can do, if it's like for food, maybe you're going to do something more like jazz music or ambient or something like that, or classical, whatever you want to do. It's entirely your choice. Whichever audio track you like, just click the download button. Let's assume I just click that download button and I've saved something. And if you go to my desktop, here you've got an MP3 file, which is where I've downloaded it from that YouTube library. The reason why I use the audio tracks from the YouTube library is they're copyright free, so you can't get any copyright infringements, right? So let's take this music track and add it to our video clip. So we'll open up Magix Movie Edit Pro. I'm going to go to the beginning of the timeline, right to the beginning. Let's press Ctrl S to save. I'll go to import here and I'll go back up one directory so I can get access to that MP3. Where is that MP3? Here it is here. So I'm going to drag and drop that onto the timeline. I'm actually going to leave a gap here. I'll explain why afterwards. So here you can see the audio track, and normally I set this to minus 20 dB. Sorry, minus 10 dB. Minus 10. That way it's not too loud. And if we zoom in here a little bit, you can see the audio track is muted at the beginning. So I'm going to move across my timeline to around here, just before the audio starts right here. Click on this and then cut it, and then select this part and delete it, and then drag this to the beginning. So if I go here and click play, the music will start straight away. Okay, cool. So at the end of this track, you can also see that it fades out here. So really what I want to do is cut it around here. I'm going to cut it. We have to be careful. If you don't click on the, if you click around here and just click cut, you're going to end up cutting the video and the audio as well. You don't want to do that. So just press Ctrl Z to undo that. Click on the actual element that you want to cut, so it highlights yellow, and then use the cut tool, and it will only cut the audio. Let's delete this end part, then we can click on this music track. Let's just see how it fades out. That's fine. We'll click here, press Ctrl C to copy, and let's just zoom out a little bit, and we'll move to the end of this. So you can click anywhere really. We'll press Ctrl V to paste and drag it here so it snaps. So it's just going to loop around now, right? It's going to start here and loop back to here. Then we'll press Ctrl V one more time and drag it here. So that will be enough audio to cover our whole video, basically, right? Now, really the time-lapse thing and the audio thing is done, but I want to finish off this video and show you how I'll actually finish it for a completed video that I'll publish on YouTube. So the next thing I'll do quickly is go to, if I minimize this, right now I'm making a YouTube video to explain this, right? So here you can see my desktop background, and I'm going to upload this, actually what I'm speaking about right now, I'm going to upload that and edit it using the exact same technique, although it won't be time-lapsed because I'll need to speak and explain all this stuff. But here's my desktop background. And when I created this particular Blender tutorial, I used this background here. If we can see it, let's just try and see it here. Let's zoom in on this timeline. So I used this background here, and I can see that background is a file here. It's called DCP01. So if I drag that into the timeline, you'll see that when I roll my mouse over, the only thing that will change is on this background you see the folder and the recycle bin, because it's video. And then when I move over to this background, those two things will get removed, but it's just the same background again, right? And I'm going to click on this background, right click on it, go to change photo length, and I'm going to set it to 20 seconds. And I'm going to explain why I do that. So here we've got 20 seconds of still frame here, just a still image. I'm going to go right to the end and use the cut tool on the audio below it, and we'll delete the end part of this audio, and then we'll just left click here and drag across to fade out the audio at the end. Let's save this. And why have I got this 20 seconds still image at the end? I'll quickly explain why. Let's just open up the web browser. We'll go back to this video here. Let's go to my channel, and inside my channel I want to go to videos, and inside videos I'm gonna, let's just look at let's do this Twitter dark mode, right? So I might play an advert. We'll skip this advert. So we'll skip the advert and we'll go right to the end. Now we can actually see this working here. Let's see. let's go to around here. So around here I'm talking about whatever I've just done in this tutorial, and then it will get to here, right? Let's see here. So if I pause it, you can see there's around 20 seconds, right? Roughly around 20 seconds. So this is this, you can see when this recycle bin and this thing gets removed. Let's just play it. Now it's been removed. And then I normally do like a please hit this thing to like this video, and then I normally do like a subscription thing here, like subscribe to access my videos. But then you'll see another video appear here, my YouTube logo here to subscribe, and another video at the end, and it will play that for about 15-20 seconds. So if I click play, you'll see subscribe here and video. So other people get to choose some other videos to watch, and they get to subscribe here, right? Click subscribe, and this is just says from DCP up here. So that's just the reason why I have that 20 seconds at the end, so people get a chance to either subscribe or click and watch a different video. Hopefully that makes sense. So this stuff here, the video here, this overlay, and this video, the subscription thing here, and this video, this is not part of Magix Movie Edit Pro. This is a part of YouTube. So when after you upload your video to YouTube, you get an option to add what we call the end screen. So maybe I'll make a separate tutorial about that, showing you how to do these end screens and lay this out nice and clean. So let's minimize this. That's what this is for here. And normally what I do is I put these are actually these 1, 2, 3, 4 black images. These are actually overlays. So I created them in GIMP software, and all they are is just a little message like, please hit that like button, thanks. And all of this white section at the top is actually transparent, and it's just this bottom part that gets shown. Yeah. So when I drag and drop this into this is slide 3, right? So you can see slide 3 here. If I drag and drop this into Magix, you can see I left a gap here between the audio, because normally all my slides go in the middle. So when I drag my mouse over, you can see the transparency here and just the title at the bottom. So this title, I normally fade it in, and I normally fade it out like this. So when it plays across, it will fade in like this, and then it will fade out. And then normally I drag number 2. So you can drag directly from this folder as well. Let's see, directly from the folder, or from here, number 2. I'll drag that in here, and then I'll just stretch that out to the end, and I'll fade this one in. So these ones will fade in and out between slides 1 slides 1 and 2. And slide 2 just simply says, don't forget to subscribe for free access to 400 video tutorials, blah blah blah. So let's go to the beginning. There's normally one that I add at the beginning, which is slide number 1. So let's drag slide number 1 into here, and normally that will only play for the intro, so I can just drag across here, and then normally I fade that one out as well. So if we go back and click play, you'll see dcpweb.co.uk, see my logo, it will fade out. Here's the title, and then it will fade into the planet Earth spinning, and this is all running at 4 times the normal speed. And now you can't hear me speaking in this video, all you got is this audio at the bottom, and this is exactly what this guy's asked for in terms of a tutorial. So let me just press Control Save. This total video clip now is 5 minutes and 30 seconds long. If we go back to the web browser, and if we go back to my YouTube channel, and we find the original video tutorial for this part 1 of this planet Earth, you'll see it's 20 minutes and 21 seconds. So we've taken all of that content from this video, and we've sped it up, and now it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So if you've got something that is 1 minute long, it will be 25 seconds long. If you've got something that's 10 minutes, it will be 2.5 minutes. This happens to be 20 minutes, so that translates to 5 minutes, or just over 5 minutes, because it's 4 times as fast. So hopefully that makes all sense. I've kind of done this in a kind of a bit of a longer way to explain it, but I want to explain it thoroughly, so that the person that's requested this tutorial really understands how this is done. And this is actually set out well for a YouTube video as well. It's got pretty much everything you want. One thing that I'm actually doing on my YouTube videos now, not on all of them, but quite a few of them, is I'm actually showing a little intro at the beginning. There's a couple of reasons for that. If you check on your mobile phone, do your YouTube videos, it normally shows a little sort of intro at the beginning. So if the intro, if everyone looking at my YouTube videos on their mobile phone, if all they ever see is like this little logo spinning around, it's not going to be very good, right? So I don't know if we can actually demo this. Let's try and see if we can demo it. Let me just type in DCP web here. Can you see when I roll over here? Can you see it shows a little short intro? Let's see that maybe here, like on this one here, or let's find a better one. Let's see, these are all my videos, right? There's loads here. So I'm normally doing this on, let's try Blender, right? Blender, this is normally what I do it mostly. Let's find quite a new one. That's a good example. So you can see something rather than it just showing my logo spinning around at the beginning, right? It's not that great. Although it doesn't really necessarily show, YouTube's not necessarily showing the very beginning of your video clip, which is quite smart, but this is a bit random here. I want to try and find one that I've done recently. Let's see, I've done too many, haven't I? This one here. Let me see if it actually shows. Let's find one. I'm looking for something quite new. I'm looking for this planet one here, right? So really, to be fair, what I've just said is not entirely true, because when you roll over this, especially when you're scrolling through it on your mobile phone, YouTube seems to just pick whatever it feels like it looks like, or it might be a certain part in the clip, maybe a certain duration going through. So maybe I have to look at that and find out at what point does it pick, because it seems to be a bit random. But fair enough, you know. But even if we play this video clip now, and if we skip it, I think it's better that you show a little example of what people are expecting to get from this tutorial, rather than just showing your logo spinning around at the beginning, because you know you want to catch people's attention, right? So I think showing this, and then when I make my next YouTube video, for maybe it's for Blender or something else, I'll show a little different intro at the beginning. So there's something a bit different every time you watch one of my videos, rather than just my logo spinning around, because that's what I was doing a lot of in a lot of my older tutorials. That's kind of off topic a little bit. So hopefully this guy will actually thank me for this. He's already thanked me once, maybe he'll thank me twice, and hopefully I can help some other people create these time-lapse videos. That's how it's done. This tutorial is a bit longer than I expected. I was expecting to spend about 5 minutes. We spent 22 minutes doing it, but at least we've done it thoroughly, and hopefully you won't have any questions now. So let's save this. Let's minimize this. I'm not going to export it. There's no point, because this was just a tutorial to demonstrate how this is done. If you do want to export your videos, I've done other tutorials on Magix Movie Edit Pro, how to export and do batch processing. So you can go and check my YouTube channel for those tutorials. We'll minimize this. That's the end of this tutorial. I look forward to seeing you in the next DCP web tutorial.